Hey guys, welcome back to the infamous project and to this winter wonderland. It's not too cold outside. Well, it's cold because it's snowing, but it could be a lot colder. Figured I'd do a little takeout here so that I'm not leaving you guys hanging. A lot of you would have seen my two-part episode that I released past weekend, and it was about this 1990 GT and it's all of a sudden lost in oil pressure. So a lot of you guys came up with a lot of ideas. So first off, I'm thinking that not everybody watched both episodes, because in the first episode, I tried to go through as much detail in terms of the troubleshooting that I did with the car. Now, a lot of you guys, the most common, question or feedback that I got was, oh, it's your oil gauge, put a new gauge on it. That's got to be the problem. So I'm just going through some of the comments that you guys had posted on the video. Another one, a lot of you guys were saying, it could be electrical. Check that out for the connection and the sending unit. Guys, that wasn't it. Some of you guys said, hook the mechanical gauge up directly to where the sending unit goes. I had done that. So everything in terms of the gauge and everything related to the gauge, I went through all those steps. I drained the oil, I blew out the sending unit tube, I primed the pump with looking at the oil pressure gauge, and that's when it was only giving me about 10 pounds of pressure. Some guy had said that as well. Another guy says he's in the same boat and he's very interested to see what the problem actually was. So just for the proof of the matter here, let me get a snow brush as we're talking about this so I can get some of the snow off, and I want to show you guys firsthand the oil pressure in the car. Some of you are going to laugh when you hear what the answer or what the problem was. Some of you might say, oh, I knew that, you should have done it. Well, you didn't comment about it. I think there was only one guy who actually had this, or had the right answer in the comments, and he had listed out a couple other things in there. I don't know who he was. I'll have to look that up later, but I'm pretty sure he's the only one out of all the comments. So let's go in here. Let's fire this thing up. Show you guys the proof. Look at that beautiful interior. There'll be a video coming soon on this interior. I gotta say, every time I step foot in here, I love it more and more. It's idling nice. Mystery motor is running good, as we found when it first started running. So it was just baffling. Why did this thing just lose oil pressure? Why wasn't it there, but it was running good? There was no smoke, there was nothing else. So there you have it, guys. Solid 50 pounds of oil pressure on the mechanical gauge. Gauge in the cluster is even working. So what was the problem? It was a bad oil filter. If you can believe it, something so simple, so easy. We've all grown up, we've all heard it, we hear it to this day. Don't use shitty oil filters. Well, it was a mystery motor. I was jamming it in the car. As we all know, we watch the episodes, right? And when it came down to things, I was like, you know what? You don't know what that mystery motor had. So I figured, hell, I'll take this oil filter that I had laying around. It was new, but it was really old. It was like an old Canadian Tire Motomaster branded oil filter that came with the 88 barn find with all the parts that it came with. So I was like, you know what? I got this oil filter laying around. I'm going to stick it on this mystery motor. As long as everything's running and everything's good, I'm going to change the oil, change the filter, and not have to worry. Well, after about 10 minutes of runtime on the mystery motor with that oil filter, that's when I started losing pressure. So, lesson learned, right? At least now I am confident in knowing that there's a high volume oil pump in the car. We know that we can change the oil pump in the car without jacking the motor or anything else. So at least that was a really good experience, and this is sort of a lesson learned moment. So for any of you guys out there that may be suffering low oil pressure or something else, man, change your filter. So hopefully you guys will go out there and spend a little extra bit of money on having a proper oil filter on your car, and that's what it was, you know. When I changed that pump, although I was very excited that I managed to do it in the car and everything was good, and I cranked that key and there was still no oil pressure, it was a huge letdown. So I went home, I did lots of research online, and that's when I learned that, you know, oil filters actually have a little pressure release valve in them. They get clogged, they get blocked, they just malfunction. It can actually stop your oil pressure. So I came in the next morning, popped that filter off, popped a new filter on, and bam. Lesson learned, man. Sometimes you just got to try and keep things easy. You know, I changed everything. I had that filter off. I poured oil, everything looked good visually, everything was fine. The oil looked good, but it's what it is. Lesson learned, it's all good. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to check out the next videos about this car that will be on that beautiful interior, at least beautiful to me. I just love it. I'm really proud of that interior, and super happy with the way that this car turned out. You know, once I got that oil filter changed, I only got to enjoy the car for one day, and then the snow came, and then there was salt and sand on the roads, which I don't want to drive this thing in the salt. So that's it, guys. Just finishing up a couple little details on the car, and it's going to get stored away for the rest of this winter wonderland. So hopefully you've enjoyed the backdrop. Welcome to December. Winter is here, and be a lot more videos coming for the holidays, so stay tuned for those.